And really, the last few seasons, the Clippers have been one of the most consistently strong teams in the league. A far cry from when they were a bottom feeder back in the day. They have become one of the premier franchises in the NBA.
Butler and McDermott filling out the perimeter. Dunleavy is up there with Pau Gasol. And it's Snell in at the 1. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago. Paul goes in, and a missed layup. As you said about the Clippers, the days of finishing near the bottom every year are over. Clark, a lot of that is Doc Rivers.
Exactly. Since 2012, Kevin, they have had the 3rd best record in the NBA. A lot of loyal fans stuck it out with the team during the dark days, and now they're reaping the fruit.
So it's the Clippers now. After the Bulls pick up 2. Mike Dunleavy is going to pick up the foul. That is his first foul of the game.
Oh, man, it's close, but, didn't get on balance quick enough.
Yeah, and as quick as players are at this level, in this day and age, I mean, you've got to be perfect in your anticipation to draw the charge.
Paul kicks to Pierce. Clock at 4. The Clippers need to get off a shot. Here's Jordan. And the bucket counts, and he's on his way to the free throw line. Try to make it a 3-point play.
He was the first one to react to that miss. Excellent anticipation on his part. A hustle play on the putback by him.
And the Bulls making a change here. Gibson's checked in. Dunleavy the basket to Gibson. This game has a lot of character here in the 3rd period.
Yeah, you know what, guys? I love seeing this type of action. A competitive, compelling matchup. A lot of lead changes here so far.
Yeah, 6 already. Intensity is the theme for this one.
Ball's knocked loose. Here's Redick. And a great assist by Paul as that one goes in. Paul's got 9 assists in the game. Great passing.
And Redick is just an unbelievable three-point shooter. It's not just his volume, it's his pinpoint accuracy. By the end of last season, Redick was 40% from behind the arc for his career.
Yes, Chris Paul.
The lead changes hands once more. There has been no separation between these two teams.
It's made for one heck of an entertaining game. Even when it hasn't been the best basketball being played, it sure has been fun to watch. Right back to the basics there, using the one-hand slam for that one.
Doesn't he make the basics look pretty exceptional?
Yeah, he does. They look sweet when he does it.
And they better stay with those basics because this game is still yet to be determined.
And here's Redick, following the three-pointer by Doug McDermott. Great offensive performance they're putting on.
You see the benefit of knocking down baskets consecutively because it leads to the confidence growing and growing.
And guys, we call that the zone because that's where they are right now. They are in a zone, and I'm sure they feel unstoppable.
So timeout called here, the first for Los Angeles. Watching Mike Dunleavy Jr., he's simply the mark of consistency. We know he's in his mid-30s, but you know exactly what you're going to get out of him every season. I think Tom Thibodeau, last year's Chicago coach, really admired that and loved it.
It's so funny watching Mike Dunleavy Jr. play. I remember when his dad coached me when I was with Portland.
Oh, my
and
gosh.
he was a little kid running around, and all of a sudden he's become this great NBA player. But you're right, though. He's made himself into a valuable asset in terms of the role he's been given for the Bulls.
Rivers dishes to Mba Amute. A solo fast break. Here's Butler. Finished off the break. And it's a 9-point Bulls lead.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
Yeah, they have really owned the interior. You've got to collapse that defense and force them to beat you over the top.
Talking about Dunleavy, boy, I tell you, he was playing at a high level already by his second season in the league. Practically every statistic across the board matches up since then, and that's over a decade later.
Catching up on the changes for Chicago. Gasol comes in for Taj Gibson. And it's Rose in for Tony Snell. Rejected by Gasol. And finished off by Rose.
And, folks, he does more than just put 2 points onto their lead. He does it with a little bit of flair.
He sure does. You're right. It's a dazzling move to the bucket for him.
I'll tell you what, he may not be the biggest man in the league, guys, but he more than makes up for that lack of size with amazing aerial skills.
Nikola Mirotic.
Mirotic is checked in for Chicago. Etuan Moore comes in for Jimmy Butler. Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over.
And getting back to Dunleavy's consistency here in his later years, he's one of those guys who has really ramped up the nutrition. He's hitting the weight room. I could make the case that he was a tougher, better player last year, especially on defense, than at any other time in his career.
Chicago making a switch here. Holiday's checked in. A big group substitution here for the Clippers. Jordan, he's checked in for Aldridge. Pierce comes in for Mbamute. J.J. Redick. Look at that!
Forget about going for the long-range bomb to cut into that lead. Just take it to the hoop, my friend. Take it to the hoop.
And how, Clark. Brilliant throwdown.
Just exerting his authority on that play.
Derrick Rose possesses a great skill set, ball handling, passing, and understanding of how to score. First rookie to ever win the All-Star Weekend Skills Challenge.
Getting back to Rose, it's his extraordinary handle that allows him to get anywhere on the floor. Such confidence in the way he dribbles and drives, whether it's getting up in a position to set up a teammate, taking himself. He's the one very best at controlling that ball.
It's a great point. I mean, guys like D. Rose, Chris Paul, Steph Curry, Kyrie, they all have maximized that skill. I mean, the thing that separates him and puts him in that Russell Westbrook category is the pure physical strength. When healthy, he's able to play with.
DeAndre Jordan has been extremely productive over 7 years. That makes it even more unbelievable that there was some question, Clark, as to his commitment to basketball coming into the league.
Yeah, you know, on talent and athleticism alone, he would have been a top 10 pick for sure, but he slipped to the second round, and he's made good on it, though.
And the wide open shot from Paul.
Chris Paul.
And he knocks down the jumper. Paul's got 8.
And his presence as a scorer, it just has a calming effect for the rest of the team. He's a fallback option whenever they need one.
Got it off in time. What a play! Simple. And that does it for the third quarter. Both teams clicking offensively as we approach the fourth quarter. Bulls lead by 9. And we'll have the start of the fourth quarter for you as soon as we get back from this short break. Hello and thanks for joining us, folks. The fourth quarter of play should begin momentarily. So for the Clippers right now, Redick and Crawford, the sharpshooters outside. DeAndre Jordan is out there with Pierce. And it's Paul in at the point. Crawford right side. Moore with the steal. The shot by Holiday, no good. Clippers trail by 12. The open shot by Paul. Again, the miss by Paul.
I didn't see that miss coming. I mean, he's usually been money from that range. Way to attack there and then create the contact.
Really, as close as you can get to an and one right there. He almost had it.
And a chance for just a second to check out the scoring breakdown for the Bulls.
They keep piling up the assists, and they haven't cooled off at all.
Well, you've also got to love how aggressively they've taken that ball to the basket and scored off dribble penetration.
Los Angeles making a switch here. Cole Aldrich, he's checked in for DeAndre Jordan. And Mbah-a-Moute comes in for Pierce. Wesley Johnson's checked in for J.J. Redick. And it's Rivers in for Chris Paul. Austin Rivers traded to the Clippers last year. A change of scenery did him well, and he was comfortable coming off the bench.
And that's a great point, Kevin. I mean, he seemed to get steady playing time, and that's what he needed most. And also, he wasn't defined by a position. They were able to find a niche role for him to play in.
Butler kicks to Snell. Fires the three. The shot's good on the assist by Butler.
You know, it's really hard not to notice the difference in the passing of these two teams today.
It's a stark discrepancy when you look at the assist columns and you see that difference as far as the fluidity in their respective offenses.
Here is Mbah-a-Moute. Finished off the break.
Excellent work there in transition.
Yeah, I think it's always better to go early in transition, to attack when it's there, because oftentimes you can beat the defense down the floor. Even when they're down, he's still looking to do the spectacular. And he pulled it off.
Well, maybe this is